What's up, good people? You got Lavelle here, aka Vell, and welcome back to my channel where we bond over our favorite TV shows, trending topics, and everything in between that we care about. So today we are back for another review of our Welcome to Sweetie Pie's investigative series, where we look back over old episodes to reminisce, reflect, and fact-find to see clues that led us to where we are today with the Tim Norman case. This episode was titled Lean on Me, and it originally aired on December 1st of 2012. We start as Mr. Bussey is visiting Tim at the Mangrove location to debrief after Tim had closed that location for 2 weeks.
Everybody was saying you were closed down. What happened?
I just had to, I had to say I had to clean house, but I had to get rid of a few people.
Okay.
They're getting kind of tired and relaxed at the same time.
I don't think any of the guys here are aware of what I have to go through to be here to keep this place open. I catch slack with Mom, Janae, I miss all the family events. I'm exhausted running Mangrove by myself.
Which I talked about a couple episodes ago, where he actually missed the family baby shower for his very own son, TJ. Then we get to Miss Robbie and Andre. Miss Robbie and Andre are talking about his issues with school.
What happened in school? You've been in school. I know they said they was gonna try not to.
When I went in school, they just saying that they just, cause it's like it's on computers and stuff. And since it's 3 hours a day, it's working at my own pace.
My conception is if they say working at your own pace, you only got so much time to do it all.
Like to me, I'd rather work slow and understanding things than work faster and get them wrong.
So, okay, you think you got 5 years to finish this class? Hell no.
I'm not working
you
that slow.
You got a certain time. Evidently you are. Like, you should have finished one of those subjects by now.
Miss Robbie says that at that point she is frustrated with Andre because he is not taking school or life seriously. She says that he is always talking back and thinks he has all of the answers.
Because you one thing, you talk too much. You always got the answer. Yeah, this here person did this person did that. I didn't do this here because that person did that. You need to learn to listen. I'm working at my own pace. I'd rather do it slow than to do it, and the whole a race. When you're running a race, you got to come to the finish line when everybody else do. You can't come in last and say I'm running at my own.
Long as you finish,
no,
you count.
that's bull. You ain't no winner if you finish last.
What is the competition in though? What is the competition in
The
that?
competition is life.
I got a long time
Andre,
for me to get
don't
finished.
say another word. You talk too much.
She told Andre that he has a mother, so she didn't have to take him in and do what she's doing, but she's doing it out of love. She then said she needed to get Andre in counseling to get him some help, to which he totally disagreed and was really pushing back against that idea. Nevertheless, Ms. Robbie still went ahead and scheduled a therapist appointment for Andre. She said that it was actually the same therapist that her and Tim had went to previously, and she was hoping that it actually worked this time because Tim only went once. And we talked about that also in a previous episode too, where everyone was trying to get him to go to therapy because of the fact that he wasn't bonding with TJ and all of his other issues. And so now we get to see, and I guess that's in one of the missing episodes that OWN took off the website, but we obviously get to see that Miss Robbie was able to get him to go to therapy at least once, but he never returned. And when you think about it, I wonder how different would things have been now had he continued going to therapy and gotten some help, and been able to talk through all his issues and the traumas he's experienced and all his stresses and things that he's going through. Would he have felt like someone gets it? Would he have felt like he had other options than to create a murder for hire plot? But as they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. While on the call with the therapist, while Miss Robbie was making his first appointment, she was telling the therapist that Andre had a lot of issues that he wouldn't allow the family to help him with the exception of Charles.
Hey, Pops.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Andre. Why you on vacation from school right now?
You got suspended, didn't you?
Yes.
What you get suspended for?
Fighting.
I wasn't down there, so I don't know exactly what occurred.
Andre was mouthing off to the principal, so he suspended him. The counselor called me and told me that he was dismissed from his second class because he'd been late 10 times.
How the hell you gonna get suspended from school, man? Summer school at that, man.
I didn't get suspended from
Yeah,
summer
I'm
school.
sorry. You're right. You ain't get suspended. You got kicked out.
I didn't get kicked out. They dropped my last class. So I still got my first class still. I ain't got my second class.
Okay, man, you had 2 classes and you get kicked out of one of them, dog.
Now, in his confessional, Charles then shares that Andre does confide in him a lot.
Andre's biggest thing is he doesn't want people to know that he's doing bad in school. I understand where he's coming from. I hate school. I'm a bad reader, so I hate standing up in front of the class reading.
And I can identify with that too, because I hated getting up in front of the class and reading as a kid. But as I became an adult, I was able to push through that and and then present to hundreds of people. So thank God for growth. But then Charles goes on to say that it holds him back from doing what he really wants to do with his life, which is acting. But he says with his reading being so weak, he feels like it will prevent him from getting the roles that he would really want and progressing in general. He says that he knows that that is the biggest thing that he needs to take care of in order to work on what's holding him back. He says, but the issue is that he makes his own self scared. Charles then goes on to say that he needs to share this with Andre.
I want Andre to know my problems so that hopefully the fact that I have problems reading will help him open up with the facts that, yes, he has problems and it's okay to tell people.
That was very heartfelt and emotional. You could tell that that was really a pain and a pressure point for Charles in his life at that point. It was something that he felt he was struggling with that was really holding him back. Then we're in Miss Robbie's office where Tim is visiting and he's getting on her about drinking a pop or soda pop, depending on where you're from. And he's getting on her because she shouldn't be drinking pop because she's under the doctor's care because she hadn't been feeling well.
Why are you drinking soda?
Yeah.
The doctor tell you can't drink no soda?
Nope.
Yes.
Doctor didn't tell me to stop, boy. The doctor did not tell me I couldn't drink no soda. Did the doctor tell you not to eat?
No.
Well, then, mine didn't tell me don't drink soda. You ain't my daddy,
Who
and
told
you
you
are
that?
not my doctor.
Who told you that?
I said it. Who the hell told you you were?
Anime.
My dad, Anime.
Don't start me, Anime.
You've been pushing your luck around me lately. You're still the child.
Tim then starts grilling Miss Robbie about Janae inviting her out for a girls' night because he's gonna have to watch TJ. And he's like, well, what are you guys up to?
Okay, let's cut the I heard you going out with late night with Janae. Now, y'all going out?
What you mean cut the bull?
I'm just saying, I want to change the subject now. Are you going out with Janae?
For what?
I'm asking you. For what? My point exactly. What are you going out with Janae for?
We're going on ladies' night. Now, what else you want to know? What else? What do ladies do? You wouldn't understand, because you a Scrooge.
Y'all be up to something. It's like a big old conspiracy.
When you get up to something, leave our
No,
life alone.
it's like, see, it's a big old
You need
conspiracy.
a life.
It's a big, see, that's why y'all be tag
You
teaming.
babysitting.
That's why y'all be tag teaming. Y'all be going out to lunch together and dinner and ladies'
Well,
night. Let's go roller
if you
skating.
knew how to
Let's
carry
go
on a
have
decent
ice cream
conversation,
sundaes
we
and all that
might
other
ask
crap.
you.
What? I don't want to go hang out with y'all.
Well, did you take a hint? Have we asked you?
Why don't y'all marry each other then?
I ain't got no problem. Probably be better than you, married.
And she got that right.
You on my side. You my mom.
I'm not.
You my mom.
I'm on
Supposed
the
to be on
side
my
of
side. Oh, so she right?
That's what I said.
Whew. I sure am tired.
I know it's hard doing nothing.
It's hard talking to you.
You could have been gone. I gave you the opportunity to leave 5 times.
They just take over.
You make me sick.
See you later.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you more. It's all right. I hope your ass gain weight.
Miss Robbie just be coming for Tim left and right. Their banter is hilarious to me. Now back at Mangrove, Tim says this staff is not your normal group of employees. He says they are full of strong personalities and misfits. So he said that means that they can't hire the average person to manage them because they require a strong-willed manager who's actually crazy.
Our cool with sweet pies, they don't need a nanny, they need a parole officer.
And I noticed that about the types of managers that Tim tended to hire. As we go further into this series, you get to see that they all have like an aggressiveness and it's almost like unnecessary, but they all have like a mean spirit behind them. And I think that's because he felt like that was the only way to get people to respond a certain way, was to be aggressive with them. And I think a lot of that is based on him being in prison for 10.5 years, and partially Miss Robbie's form of managing as well, where she cusses and fusses to get things done. So Tim hired one of their employees back as their day shift manager.
I need some extra help. So I brought Barbara back. Miss Barbara was one of the very first people Mom hired with sweetie pies in the beginning. And she's also the only person in the world that will argue with Mom besides myself. Mom hates her.
Keep your food looking good and tasting good.
Now, Miss Barbara is a great cook, but Miss Barbara tells me when she's gonna work. Now, something wrong with that picture.
So basically there was a battle of the wills between the two women, obviously. But she was so harsh, mean, and curt to the staff that Ike and D'Angelo actually came to Tim and was like, we need to have a meeting, like an impromptu meeting.
Crying like a baby all the time.
What's up, man?
What's up?
We want to have a talk with you for a minute, man.
What's up? What's wrong?
A little brief meeting. Brief meeting. Come on.
What's up, man?
It is already a big complaint that Miss Bobbie dictating, talking to people, you know, where you wouldn't want nobody to talk to you. Point blank, what I'm saying right now is her way or no way. It's her way or no way, man. I mean, that's not right.
Okay.
We coming back to do this. Okay, then.
I'm gonna talk to Barbara and tell her to tone it down a little bit. I know she can be kind of
Loud. Just loud.
abrasive. Don't let it get personal. Don't let it get personal.
Okay. So we playing bad cop, good cop.
See, why you gotta talk about the cops? Why you always wanna bring the cops into this? You know I'm paranoid, man. You know what issues with the cops, man.
But later on, when he actually does talk to her, he's asking her how things are going, how's it going with the staff, etc. She's like, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine.
So how you think it went today, boy?
I think it went very well today with the new peoples and the ones that's gone. That's good. Everything went good. The new people that come in, gotta show them about what sweetie pie is. You know, we don't come in here just to play and drop chicken and stand there and watch the fire. You gotta do other things.
Well, some people think you're talking to them too mean, but the main problem was we didn't have anybody back there taking control, you know what I mean? We didn't have anybody being stern enough. So I want you to keep on doing what you're doing.
All right.
And I know you're not gonna let anybody disrespect the restaurant or disrespect you.
Right.
So be it you being you being mean, evil, whatever they want to call it, you keep on doing what you're doing, as long as you got control of that kitchen.
Keep doing it. Like your employees are becoming disgruntled and you're like, oh yeah, keep up with that. So we clearly see Tim's management style in this. So then we have Charles and Andre, they're sitting down. Charles is trying to reason with Andre about getting help and going to counseling. Charles then tells Andre that Miss Robbie is insisting on counseling for him because she's seeing the same thing in Tim. Now, what I wasn't clear on is what he meant by seeing this same thing in Tim, like the aggression, the hard-headedness, the you know better than everyone else, like what part of it exactly was he talking about and referring to? Not exactly sure, but obviously maybe there's some similarities between the way that the two of them behave. Or maybe the fact that when Tim was a teenager, he ended up, you know, in prison. So maybe that was the part he meant as well, as like Miss Robbie is seeing him on the path that could lead him directly on the path that Tim ended up on. But Andre doesn't see the need for it. And he says that there's nothing that a counselor can do for him.
What do me gotta go to counseling for me talking and for me getting my sentence out, my story out, gotta do with counseling? Like, why? Who goes to counseling for that?
Because it helps when you hear from somebody else. It just gives you a different sense of awareness. You see it in a different way when somebody else says it.
Ain't no anger building me. Just because I fight hard don't mean I'm crazy.
Why are you putting it down so bad?
They can't help me what I'm going through because they not
How
living.
do you know what
they go through the same stuff. They ain't not living what I'm living right now. They don't know how grandma is like I know how grandma is.
Charles then explains that hearing different perspectives on things could actually help Andre, which is really the whole purpose of therapy anyway.
This boy has an answer for everything. It's the teacher's fault. It's the bell's fault. The bell rang early. The cat ate the dog. The rat ate the mouse. Everything is not his fault. Nothing's his fault, ever.
Andre then replies, there's no point in going to therapy with grandma. No one knows how she really is but me. He says she's just gonna go there and talk and I won't be listened to anyway. After more conversation, Andre finally admits,
But you wanna know why I don't like stuff like this? Because I think he gonna judge me if I go to this counselor and in his head, like, oh, well, he crazy. He might not think it, but I'm feeling he gonna judge me. That's why I don't like go. I'm scared of judgment, and I'm scared to show my emotions in front of people.
Andre's biggest thing is he doesn't want people to know that he's doing bad in school. He doesn't want people to know that he's hurting.
Charles then tells Andre that most people are not out to hurt you.
I just want him to accept the fact that people aren't out to hurt you, they're out to help you. And that's what I've had to learn to do, and that's what I want him to do. And maybe he'll listen to that.
Now, unfortunately, one of those people that wasn't really out to help him was his very own uncle. So some of his paranoia of not trusting people was valid. But in the case of Charles, having this revelation that I really did not really remember in detail from the series makes me wonder if some of his laziness early on was really related to him not feeling like he had options because of his learning disabilities. That's something to think about. So then we're with Janae and Miss Robbie and the girls, and they're all out for their girls' night.
The ladies and I are going out for a little bit of girl time. Remember when we talked about going and doing maybe like a girls' day where we just sit back and we get massages or we do something like that?
That's fine with me.
I'm taking Miss Robbie pole dancing. Knowing Robbie, when we pull up to the place and she realizes that I lied to her, she might be mad for a split second.
Ladies, after you.
But I kind of feel like, I mean, she's already been an entertainer, so what's the difference between entertaining on a big stage or playing around on a pool?
And I think Janae was obviously right. What was funny to me was even in the limo ride over there, Miss Robbie was actually singing Nelly's It's Getting Hot in Here.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
Go ahead, yeah.
So they ended up getting there. Miss Robbie was definitely surprised and like, where are we? Like she's looking for a spa or something, and she's only seeing the dance studio.
When I first realized that the girls and I were going pole dancing, I'm like, how in the hell am I gonna get my ass on a pole?
But once she got there and they started having fun, she was enjoying herself. She was clearly enjoying herself and laughing and joking and all of that. So it turned out that they had a really nice girls' night out. So then we end up at Andre's first counseling session. He's there with Miss Robbie, and so the therapist is asking Andre if he could start by asking Miss Robbie why she brought Andre to the counseling session.
Tell me what's really going on.
Well, Andre has never really had a positive male figure in his life.
Okay.
So I just want him to be able to talk to an outside male that will listen, and maybe he might respect your opinion.
And now, don't get me wrong, I'm a true believer in counseling, but I couldn't help but wonder, was this one of the signs that Miss Robbie felt like Tim wasn't necessarily a good role model? Or was it that she felt like Tim didn't have the time, the concern? Was there issues brewing where she knew that Tim wasn't fond of Andre, and so maybe she felt like he wasn't really fit to be Andre's role model? But it just seems like his uncle should have been the first line of a positive male role model. But it does make me wonder why that was one of the primary reasons why she was actually paying for someone to work with Andre. After that, the therapist did send Miss Robbie out of the room, and he began to talk with Andre, who was very reluctant in the very beginning, but through some of the conversation, you got to see him warming up, and he was starting to realize that, hey, this might not be so bad after all. So after the therapist gave his spiel of like how things would go and what he would be there for as it relates to Andre, he asked him, would you be interested in it? Because he was like, I'm not gonna force you, but would you be interested in it?
Now, I know this is your first meeting with me, so you can only judge by this little slice of time. But based on what you're hearing so far, do you think I can help you? Do you want the help?
I need the help and I want the help.
You said what I wanted you to say. And I hope you didn't say it just because you knew I wanted to hear it. You said, I need the help. That is the most critical acknowledgement I need you to have. You have to say, yeah, I need it this time. If you maintain a positive attitude and you receive the help from people who are willing to give it to you, you can get to your dreams. And I'm serious about that.
So that began Andre's journey with counseling. Tim and Miss Robbie then meet. They're discussing how slow business is at the Upper Crust location.
It's kind of slow over there.
Yeah, it's kind of slow. I was thinking maybe we'd start booking some acts.
Well, over the banquet room?
Yeah, in the banquet room.
Well, yeah.
That'll bring in some revenue.
Now you're talking about territory. You name somebody, I can get them here.
And this was the beginning peak of us realizing that Tim really overall wanted to be in show business and not the restaurant business. Ms. Robbie then said that Tim seemed more happy and less stressed now that he had help with Ms. Barbara managing the staff at the Mangrove location.
Barbara and I might disagree, but if bringing her on board makes Tim less stressed, I love you, Barbara.
Ms. Robbie was then telling Tim that one of the first acts that she would like for him to secure for the live performance was Millie Jackson.
I like Millie Jackson. Millie Jackson.
Who's Millie Jackson?
She's back in the day with me.
She one of the Jacksons?
No, she's by herself.
I thought it was just Latoya and Janet.
No, they ain't got nothing to do with the Jacksons.
You said her name was Jackson?
But that don't mean everybody named Jackson ain't no damn Jackson.
Well, if she is singing, she a Jackson, she's probably one of the Jacksons.
She ain't no damn Jackson. Look her up, go on the internet and look her up. Go, what you call it, Google it. Facebook it, FaceTime her, tweet it, twiggle it, wiggle it, whatever the hell y'all do.
And I'm like, really, Tim? Your mom was a backup singer for 50 years. It's like, you should know who Millie Jackson is. And Tim is around my age, so I'm like, I'm fully aware of who Millie Jackson is. And probably got a couple of her songs in my playlist if I go through it. So how did he grow up not knowing who Millie Jackson was? I'm not sure if they were playing that up for TV or if he was really that disconnected. And if any of our Evolvers are from the St. Louis area and know about the Upper Crust and any live performances, could you guys let me know, like, have they had live performances there at the Upper Crust location? If so, like, any big people been there? Do they still do it? Let me know in our comments below or direct message me in our text community because I'm just curious. So then we're back to Charles and Andre. Andre is debriefing Charles on how his counseling session went.
What about your the talk with the guy? What's
The
his-
counselor.
Dr. Harris?
Yeah, the
the
counselor. We talked. He actually listened to me. Then he told me things that grandma was wrong, but then he said some things grandma was right. He said he listened the whole time, let me talk. I got everything off my chest.
So would you see yourself going back, doing it again?
Actually, I was thinking about that yesterday. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give him a call when I'm done eating, and I'm gonna ask him, if he got time, talk about some stuff with grandma, or just talk,
Well, I'm happy. I'm glad you found somebody else you can talk to.
We should go.
We should go what?
To counseling.
Oh, no, I don't need counseling.
No, you sound like me now.
So that was good that Andre was starting to get the help, and I'm wondering how much of that played a role into him actually being able to finish high school and actually walk across the stage and graduate and not have to get a GED. And I wonder at what point did he stop going to counseling, and how would that have impacted even his life differently? Because I know that he was trying to go to community college. Miss Robbie had gotten him an apartment, but it kind of like all dissolved. He stopped going to school and, lost the apartment. And I think he got kicked out of the apartment for like noise complaints and things of that nature. Things were going on that the landlord wasn't happy with. And I think around that time is when he ended up going back to Texas. But I just can't help to wonder that if his life had stayed on that path, in that moment where he was just really encouraged and feeling motivated and feeling like there was some hope to his life, how different would things have turned out. Not saying that what happened to him in the end was his fault at all, because murder was never the answer. I'm just wondering the trajectory of his life. Like, would he, I don't know, had gone into the entertainment business or something? Who knows? But just wondering out loud. But anyway, that brought this episode to a close. Our next episode is season 2, episode 11, where Miss Robbie will be going into surgery for her vocal cords, and Charles will be getting kicked out of Monique's house. Charles getting kicked out, imagine that. So anyway, with that, if you've made it to this point in the video, let me know by commenting below. Never judge a book by its cover. Yes, never judge a book by its cover. And I say that as it pertains to this episode because both Charles and Andre were judged by others to be lazy and lost causes in some ways. However, under the surface, they were both dealing with debilitating learning disabilities that were negatively impacting their self-worth, life purposes, and dreams. All because of issues that could have really stemmed from maybe some developmental issues, or it could have been as simple as just not having a quality education and not having people to nurture them through their education. But nevertheless, these issues came to the surface, and just like all the rest of us, like none of us can be judged by our cover alone because we all have so much that has gone into making us the people we are. And so anyone judging us on the surface without knowing the backstory is just misled and has no clue. So just a reminder, don't judge a book by its cover, and remember to give people grace. So with that, if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed as of yet, or you're returning and you have not hit that subscribe button, this will be a great time for you to do that and become a part of the EOV subscriber family. And remember to click that notification bell so that you'll be aware of when I post new videos. Also, don't forget to join our text community for video notifications and the ability to send me direct messages. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on all major social media platforms at IAmVellB. Yes, IAmVellB. So with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.